Should driver safety matter more than Uber and Lyft's gun policy? Yeah, I'm going to jump right into this one today because this is a very, very, very important topic. I get a lot of comments on my videos where people are asking me, can they carry if they have a concealed carry license? But today we're going to talk about, should the driver's safety matter more than Uber and Lyft's gun policy? Now, we are independent contractors. When you sign up to do gig work, we are independent contractors. So there's no legal liability between you and the app that you're doing the gig work for. Everything is separated. But yet, Uber and Lyft and all these other gig apps take, there's no leverage for the independent driver, for the independent contractor. There's nothing that stands in your favor. Okay? They take 60 to 65% of your earnings from you as an independent contractor, driving your own vehicle. And when you join these rental car programs, they take upwards of 70 to 75% of your earnings. Maybe in some cases, 80%. Okay? But yet, they tell you, and you as the drivers have to go pick these people up. You don't know who you're picking up. You don't know who you're picking up. The map's sending you any and everywhere that they get a ride request. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to send you it. They don't care. You have to deal with the altercations and the verbal threats and all of this types of stuff as the driver. But yet they set policy that won't allow you as an independent contractor to carry if you are licensed to carry. So who protecting you? You're not. You're prey. You're not. You're not being protected. And they don't want you to protect yourself because their only concern is liability. They don't want drivers carrying guns simply because of the legal liability that will cause. That's why they say you're an independent contractor and you're going to follow by the rules of this company. All gig work has minimized drivers and independent contractors to lower than you would be if you worked for an employer in a facility or a building, or even if you was driving for an employer. This gig work, independent contractor gig work, has taken all of the rights from the drivers. Now, as a driver, you want to be able to feel safe wherever you're going to pick these people up or drop them off. You don't want to have to fight somebody off that has a weapon and you don't. You pray you can get robbed, somebody raped. Some women can be raped. You could be badly harmed. They can do anything to you, carjacked, anything. A multitude of things can happen. Physical assaults, everything. You have, as a driver with Uber and Lyft's no gun policy, they leave you as complete prey. You just open. See, most of the people out here know that Uber and Lyft drivers don't carry money. See, it leaves you open to carjackings. You got groups of little young guys looking to take cars so they can either go do other crimes or, maybe go do drive-by shootings and all that stuff like that. So who better to take a car from than a gig worker, an Uber and a Lyft driver, or door dasher, anything. Anything could go wrong. You can mess around and you can pick up an intoxicated rider. For those of you that like to drive at nighttime and then drive the bar scene and the entertainment industries of the cities that you are driving in, some people are violent when they drink. I know everybody has been around violent drunks. People that's confrontational and argumentative, and that likes to threaten and even be physical, putting their hands on you and all types of stuff like that. Intoxicated people are some of the most people in the world to do, especially when they're violent and they're violent drunks. Oh man, you pick one of them up, you mad. You don't know what that person might try to do to harm you. So as a driver, you should be able to protect yourself. And another thing, when a dangerous situation happens, who's there to protect you? You can't. Customer service, it takes a long time to get them on the phone. And how can they protect you? What they're going to tell you? Okay, yes, you can call the police. Sometimes they may be 3 to 4 minutes away, depending on where you are. Maybe even 20 to 30 minutes. You'll be dead by the time they come, or bleeding to death. You know what I mean? So, these, like I say, company policy don't stop criminals. Criminals are going to do what they're going to do. I know a lot of people that may look at this video may say, yeah, man, but those are the rules of the company. And, either you follow them or you don't work with the company. Man, life has rules. But do we always follow them? Now, for those of you that may ask that question or may have some type of kickback in regards to Uber and Lyft's gun policy, what's more important? Is your life more? Is Uber and Lyft's gun policy more important than your life? And if Uber and Lyft's gun policy is more important, then you're like, man, you need to go ahead and drive into every hood, every hole, every corner, drug area that you can, so somebody can get in the car with you and harm your ass. If you feel like the Uber and Lyft policy is more important than your life, hey man, by all means, or sir, or ma'am, or whoever you are, go ahead and drive gung-ho. Go ahead. Help yourself. But I will tell you this. I know that there's a lot of drivers out there that will protect themselves. And whatever they have to do, you don't always have to carry guns to protect yourself. Because there's other ways you can protect yourself. You know? But if something is going to happen, it's going to happen. If you pick up some type of deranged lunatic, yes, his picture and everything could be on the screen, but it might be a day he just feel like he wanted to do some harm to somebody, or he's overly angry, or she's overly angry, and they just feel like they want to take it out on somebody else, and the driver might be that person. You have to protect yourself. You know, they say you can't carry guns, but they didn't say you couldn't carry mace. And I ain't talking about them little weak-ass forms of mace that you see people have on the keychains and all that. No, I'm talking about some police-grade shit where they got the long cans with the trigger on it. You know what I mean? You get you one of them, you can find them on Amazon, or you can go on any of these tactical stores online. You know what I mean? And you can get you one of them. Even they even got the holsters that you can put in the car right at reaching distance. I mean, but of course you want to have it so that it's not seen by the driver. You just figure out certain ways where you set your arm or your hand, well, when the driver get in, they won't see it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when the passenger get in, they won't see it. So if they get up in there with some bush, they can even pull a gun out to my man, give me your money, or put a gun in your head, whatever. If you can pull that trigger on that mace or that pepper spray, I mean, and they got it in concentrated form, you can blind the hell out of them. Long enough to hope and pray to God they don't shoot that gun and it hit you, or if they shoot it, don't hit you, you can take that bit from them. Because let me tell you, when you hit them with that pepper spray or that that mace, that concentrated mace, their ass is gonna fall out. So also, you can carry knives. You can have the bitch open and sitting in your lap. You know, that's always ways that you can protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you can be physical, but if somebody puts a gun to your head or your neck, it ain't really much you can do. You know what I'm saying? But if you got your hand near that mace, or you got your hand near that knife, and they make a mistake and move funny, or do something different, you can stab the shit out of them, or either you can spray the fuck out of them. And don't stop. The moment they fall down, spray it or stab the shit out of them some more. I mean, it's your life or their life. If they're getting in here to do harm to you, you have to protect yourself. Look, I disagree with the Uber and Lyft's gun policy. If a driver is licensed to conceal carry, they should be allowed as an independent contractor to carry a weapon while they're driving. That's why you see over the years, cab drivers were getting robbed and killed. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of cab drivers will carry weapons, but a lot of them didn't. And a lot of them didn't get a chance to pull a weapon if they had it. You know, this is why I talk to you people about the importance of keeping your head on the swivel. You know, the whole 360. Adjust your mirrors so it can give you as much of a view into blind spots as you can. Keep your doors locked. You know what I'm saying? Keep your hand on that trigger of that mace. Hey, if you all that feel like, man, fuck the policy, my life matters more than you drive with your gun, man. Protect yourself. You know what I mean? But the moral of this video was because you have so many drivers or so many people that want to drive, but they're wondering how they're going to actually protect themselves, and they actually have license to carry weapons. And they're determining, well, should I drive? Should I carry my gun? Or should I not? Use your own discretion. What I will tell you is this. Uber and Lyft ain't the be-all, the be-all. Your life depends more than Uber and Lyft taking that 60 to 65% of your earnings from you with your own car. And if you're in the rental car program, 70 to upwards of 80% of your earnings. So your life is more important than the policies that Uber and Lyft sets for the drivers. Because the drivers, as independent contractors, have no say-so. Because they have made you replaceable. The moment they get a complaint about you, they suspend you for 5 to 7 days. They limit your earning potential for 5 to 7 days. The moment. False accusations, 90% of the time, they're false accusations or vindictive actions. You understand? The drivers don't have no say-so. A bunch of red tape is wrapped around the driver. If you breathe too hard, you will get removed from the platform. They have the drivers driving on thin ice. That's why a lot of passengers run into a lot of drivers that won't talk to you. Because they're scared that they may say something that may get them removed from the platform. You can be a driver that be just as nice, do favors for them, do anything to accommodate the passengers. And they still gonna turn that shit against you. You understand? Listen, if you are a driver for Uber and Lyft, and you are licensed to carry a weapon, use your own discretion. But make sure that you do understand that your life is more important than any policy that Uber and Lyft sets. You don't know who you're picking up when you go to the left or the right. Wherever the map gets a ride request so that they can take that 60 to 65% of your earnings from you, they're going to send you there. It could be a drug hole. It could be whore's row. It could be a place where a bunch of deranged people with mentation issues and all types of stuff. It could just be a normal day where a passenger wants to break the law. You have to be able to protect yourself. Everybody is not big and strong enough to overpower passengers, especially if a passenger has put a weapon to your head. Now, people, think about this. If Uber and Lyft do not screen passengers, or if there is no way to screen passengers from having weapons with them when you pick them up, why is it that that policy has to be set for the drivers? And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you drivers out there have picked up passengers that had weapons holstered on their sides. I know you have. So let me give you a little story, and I'm about to get out here. Yeah, I'm going to end my videos with stories because, hey, man, I got so many of when it comes to this Uber and Lyft and this gig work. It's amazing. Okay. One day I get a call. I set the trip. And it was taking me to the Wawa in the vicinity that I was, in the area that I was in. So when I get to the Wawa, I see two guys standing out there. And they had khaki pants on. And one had a blue shirt on and the other one had a white shirt on. Right? And then they said, hey, we got a friend coming. So I had to let that one sit in the front seat. When that one came out, he had a shirt on that had FBI on it. When they sat in the car, I seen the gun. Right? So they were en route to about 10 miles away from where I picked them up from. They were talking, and I wasn't really paying any mind to them. You know, they were cops. You know what I'm saying? FBI. Hey, man, had I would have known beforehand who they were, I wouldn't have never picked them up. That's just me. Well, as we getting down to the location, right, we ride past. As we get to the location, I see one of them has a camera. I didn't see that when he got in the car. So he must have had a bag or something on him that I didn't pay the mind to. So I see one of them has a camera in the back seat behind the passenger, behind the driver. And it had a long lens on it. And he was taking pictures, and he said, can you slow down a bit? And I was like, what? He said, can you slow down a bit? So I had went past the place. It was a bar with a whole bunch of motorcycles in the front of it. So he said, can you go around the block? So I go around the block. He said, can you go around the block? So I'm thinking as I go to turn, I said, wait a minute, man. I stopped in the middle of the street. I said, with all due respect, I'm not going to be a part of this surveillance. I wasn't notified that this was any type of surveillance or you all were policemen or whatever. Oh, no, man, there's no problem. We're just riding through and I said, hey, man, but you're putting me as a driver on the Lyft platform in harm's way. When you all get out of this vehicle, you go back to your police life. Me, I have to drive this thing every day to make money. I'm no longer going to drive you all to surveil nobody and take pictures. All right, man, well, can you just drop us off at the location? So, as I go and to proceed to correct them back to the location, I realize that they're going back to the Wawa. So I said, man, I got to drive these summer bitches. So I drives them all the way as we going. They talking about, yeah, man, man, I want to apologize. We was just trying to say, yeah, man, I don't care nothing about none of that. I'm trying to get you all to understand that that's your job. This is my job. And I'm the one that has to drive this vehicle throughout these counties on a day-to-day basis. You don't know who watching y'all, counter surveilling y'all. You don't know if somebody was out on the lookout seeing y'all take pictures from this vehicle. I might be driving this vehicle when you all are gone and it gets shot up. Or they ain't had nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, we are sorry, we upset you, and this, that, and the third. So we get to the Wawa. They try to give me a $20 tip. I told them keep it. Roll the windows up. I rolled it when they closed the door. I pulled off, cleared the trim, went on about my business. But they had guns on them because they cops. They was able to get in the car. Uber and Lyft didn't know anything about them getting in the car with the gun. And they probably wouldn't have cared. So I feel like this. If they can get in cars and passengers, no matter who they are, can get in the cars with guns, then the driver should be able to carry guns. So the moral of the story is, should the driver matter more than Uber and Lyft's gun policy? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, man, I want to say to you all out there, if somebody didn't tell you that they love you today, Rideshare Real Talk loves you. I'm out.